My name's Dr. Stephanie McHenry, and this short presentation looks at learning at master's level. In particular, I'll discuss the expectations placed upon you as a master's student and the kinds of academic skills you'll require to succeed. But before that, it's worth reflecting on your current outlook and attitudes. Are you in the right frame of mind? Spend a few moments considering a really great learning experience, one not so happy one, your main reasons for joining your new programme, and any concerns or anxieties you have about it. You might want to pause the video whilst you make notes. In many cases, the way we feel about a particular thing is influenced by our past experiences of it. So when joining a new course, you're obviously going to be affected by how you've learnt before, even if you haven't realised it yet. So that's why it's worth looking back over past experiences of learning and how they make us feel. Most people have pretty concrete ideas about their skills, attitudes and abilities, so they take these beliefs with them when beginning a new degree. The psychologist Carol Dweck refers to these as self-theories and believes they can have a big impact on learning and motivation. She suggests that students tend to hold one of two views about intelligence. Some people think that your level of intelligence is fixed. This would be an entity theory of intelligence. You're simply born with a certain amount of it and can't do anything to change that. So, for example, you might believe that your sister's the smart one in the family, whereas you have no academic abilities whatsoever. The problem with this theory of intelligence is that it can stop people putting in any effort. What's the point if you don't think it'll make any difference? Students who hold this view of themselves can struggle to stay motivated and may not complete assessments. They can feel quite helpless because it seems like they have no control over anything. Another view is that intelligence or ability is malleable, i.e. it can change. This is the incremental theory of intelligence. So, just like riding a bike, you may not be able to do something the first time you try, but the more you practice, the better you get. Students who hold this latter view are more likely to put in effort to master a particular skill or complete an assessment. They believe that their effort will have an effect, will produce a reward like a good mark or personal satisfaction. As you can imagine, there's some evidence to suggest that if you believe the entity theory, this can have a negative effect on your academic performance, especially if you lack confidence in your abilities. Within the Learning Development Centre, we believe in the incremental theory, and that's basically what this programme of activities is about. If you put in the effort and practice your academic skills, then you can develop them. One of the trickiest things when beginning a programme of study is figuring out at what level you're expected to perform. How do you know you're achieving master's level when you haven't had any work marked or read by anyone? There's plenty of information if you know where to look. Your module and programme handbooks will be a really important source of guidance. People tend to read them through at the start of a programme and then file them away somewhere, never to be looked at again. But they are worth going back to. Look carefully at the learning outcomes in particular. These tell you what you're supposed to be able to do by the end of the module. You're also given a lot of detail on assessments and how they will be marked. This is an example of an essay feedback sheet. Not only will this provide insight into how well you performed at an assessment, but it's invaluable beforehand too. It tells you what the markers are looking for, and therefore what you need to do to pass. You could also access the overall assessment matrix for the framework. Again, this provides descriptions of what is expected for a piece of work at various grades. You can use the framework to gauge your performance prior to submission. Can you say that you've met all of the criteria for the 70% plus category? Staff will be a hugely important source of information and support. Take every opportunity to be given feedback. The Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework has 12 levels, reflecting the current Scottish system of education and training. Level 1 is the least demanding and Level 12 is the most demanding. A Master's programme is on Level 11. As well as categorising qualifications into the levels, the framework provides a description of learning at each level. It's a good idea to spend some time reading the level descriptors, as this should tell you what's expected from you at each level and the differences between them. You can find them on the SCQF website. This is an excerpt from Level 11. Note the importance of becoming critical. It comes up time and time again. On the whole, I think you require 4 things in order to succeed: time management, literature searching skills, a critical approach, and strong writing skills. But please don't panic. You already have a wealth of skills and experience. You're not expected to know everything already. You have to learn how to learn at master's level, and there's plenty of support around to help you develop those skills. So for the first category, independence, motivation and organisational skills, I imagine you have these in abundance already through your experience in the workplace, as part of a family, or perhaps through previous courses. You may need to work on your seeking and searching. How are you with database searches, for example? The library website has lots of support and information. As well as finding credible evidence, at master's level you have to critically engage with it. This extract makes good use of evidence, a mix of policy, research, guidelines, etc. It's perhaps worth pausing the video to read it in full. The third category is critical engagement, and I think this is the heart of master's work. You've got to be able to understand complex concepts, evaluate them alongside others, and then construct a logical, coherent argument of your own. And finally, writing. A clear writing style will allow you to communicate your critical discussion. So is there anything you need to work on? Could you search a database to find a research paper on a particular topic? Could you evaluate the arguments within that paper and write up your findings? There's lots of support to help you develop these skills, but you need to figure out the areas to work on.